Oh, helter skelter. It is knife time, everybody. And today we're going to do it a few days early. I was going to start this on Monday, but we're going to start off with our knife history lesson today on this lovely, beautiful Friday afternoon here at Junker Forge. It's been sprinkling a little bit, and let's get right into it. Now, I've been doing a lot of knife research lately because I've been looking at knives I like and I want and stuff. And one of my favorite things is a good old leather stacked knife, a leather stacked handle knife. You know, here's old Brian the K-Bar. Look at his old beat up Brian. He's a moron. See that there? But you know, the old K, this isn't got the leather hander, but whatever. This does. And that style of handle, it's one of my favorite things. And so, and I'm getting ready to make myself one. Maybe make one and hook somebody up with it or something. I don't know. But I'm getting ready to make me a stacked leather style knife. You know, something Skagel style. You know, something, I don't know. I made this forged blade a while ago. It looked good on. And so I was doing research. Who came up with that? And you know, I'm sure there's mountain men and dudes making this style of handle here and there. Maybe replacing handles, like an old stag handle got cracked or whatever. They're like, how am I gonna make a handle for a knife, you know? Necessity is the motherhood of invention, right, everybody? So that's probably how it originally came up with, but I was looking at it as near as I can tell. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I've been doing a lot of research, and from near as I can tell, there's this fella, Webster Marble, and he was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 23rd, 1854. And his dad was a trapper and a basket maker. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I did a little bit of research into that. And that's a whole nother story. But his dad actually made like these functioning baskets, bushel baskets that they used and sold in those days. And he made a decent living on it. And so with those roots, little Webster Marble, and I say little Webster Marble, when he was full in his manhood, he was only 5'2", but he was a stout dude. He was strong, wiry, you know, because he spent his life just in the great outdoors, helping his dad being a trapper and all that. And then when he started to come of age, he became a timber cruiser and a surveyor, which is, he would go out into the deep woods of Michigan, and by this point, him and his family, they'd ended up in Michigan, I believe Gladstone, Michigan, and he was out in the wilderness all the time. And what he would do, he would go out and he would basically survey the area to see how much lumber was there. And they say he was like a wizard at this. It was like, he was just a talent of his. He could look at a certain area of trees and be like, X amount of lumber, usable lumber's there, and sure as hell, boom, it would be that amount of lumber when they went through and harvested it and milled it out. And so, you know, he's in the deep woods, you know, and you know, you're surviving, you're living out there. He was like Survivor Man every day of his life out there, you know, doing the damn thing. And so his equipment, his surveyor equipment and his tools and his axe, and all the dudes that did this, you know, they had to have a razor sharp axe on to check the trees, you know. And it was over 50 pounds, this little 5'2" dude in the deep woods of Michigan. Shout out to the strong, short Kangs out there, man. That's heavy duty work, you know. And so that's what he's doing in his spare time at night. He started drawing up and sketching out ideas for better equipment, you know, safety ideas for equipment. And one of these things that he came up with was the Marble Safety Axe. And it was an axe that actually had this kind of weird looking cover attached to it. And then by the time 1892 came around, he started like one of the first production like type knife type and axe type companies, and he started the Marble Safety Axe Company in 1892. And this wasn't like some little garage shop like a lot of the old school knife makers of lore we know of, like you know, Skagel and Randall and the guys. This was a 20,000 square foot facility. This was a factory. And you know, he didn't just make axes. He made compasses for the later on for the U.S. military, for Army, for World War One. But he made all different kinds of equipment. You know, waterproof match containers, and like I said before, compasses and the safety axe. And then in 1899, he dropped the Marble's Ideal Hunter. And that, like, everybody was like, that was what you needed. You had to have one. It was kind of like, you know how you see like 1,200 K-bars sold a month on Amazon? Well, before the K-bar was the Marbles. And it, you know, very similar knife to the K-bar, but with a, I don't have one currently. You know, leather stacked handle, a big blade with a big old fat fuller, wider blade with a fat fuller that you could grab to do skinning work and scraping work and such like that. But a very similar to what we know now as the modern combat utility knife was the Marble's Ideal Hunter. Thank you, Brian. And this is a little Rough Rider, but I'm using it as an example. So, you know, it had the leather stack handle, and that knife was like the knife. It was the knife of its day. In 1916, the British military adopted it as their standard issue knife. That was like, if you were in the British military, there's probably a grip of those float overseas, man. Made it at Gladstone, Michigan, okay? And Michigan has something there, man, when it comes to knife making. There's something magic there. There's a lot of magic about Michigan and stuff like that, but there's just something there that, like, good knife makers come out of Michigan, man. We got Skagel's in Michigan. Webster Marble is in Michigan. Other people, you know, like Randall started out in Michigan before they were in Florida. I believe there's a Randall Point in Michigan. But like, there's just something about Michigan that pops out great knife making people. And so the British military has it. Ernest Hemingway rocked a Marble's Hunter. Teddy Roosevelt, man, what a dude. Like, he was like, that's a fucking president right there, man. That's a dude you want running your country. A dude that'll jump on a horse and ride into Central America and be buck wild, dude. That is, with glasses this thick, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a gangster. Shout out to Teddy Roosevelt, man. And the teddy bear. What? Who don't love a good old little teddy bear, man? So, yeah, I'm rambling. But they made the official Boy Scouts of America knife. Marbles is just ingrained in American survival culture and camping culture. And it was just like a thing. And as time went on, I don't know exactly when, but, you know, over the years, a lot of companies that used to be made solely in America went overseas and stuff, or just shut down altogether. You know, there are many brands and companies. Coleman is one of them that went overseas with most of their production, and many, many more. And that all starts happening in late 60s, early 70s. America stopped being workers and became consumers. And so the people of the world started making Marble's tools and knives, and a lot of time, you know, low quality control and stuff like that. And thankfully, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, who I'm not associated with anyway whatsoever, except for I spend a lot of my fun tickets there, they acquired the Marble's name, and they, you know, they started pumping out stuff, you know, from all different areas of the world. One of my favorite knives is I've done a video on this before, but this is the Marble Turquoise Bowie. This is one of my favorite knives, and it is made in the land of Pakistan, where they make the finest of foot-made blades. This thing is so great. This is seriously one of, I got this for 23 bucks on sale, and they're still like 28 bucks or 29 bucks or whatever on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And this is literally one of my all-time favorite knives. I keep it on me a lot. I put that cool little paracord knot on it, and I can just tuck it into my belt so it's not flopping like a Chernobyl pony. I'm a Chernobyl pony, you know. This is like, I love having this knife on me. Imagine the piece of cheesecake you could cut with this thing. And you know, a lot of people would look at this and they'd say, oh, it's a poor fit and finish. It's not made in Gladstone, Michigan. I don't want it. Well, you're cheating yourself. But whatever, spend your fun tickets on whatever you want to spend your fun tickets on. And medium fit and finish. It's better than that gator bowie I showed you yesterday. A lot stouter, full tang. It's one of my all-time favorites. Love it. But like I said, they have knives sourced all over the place. One of those places is the land of sorrow nets, China. And you look at this, and I showed this the other day in a video, but look at this fit and finish on this. That's real bone, the checkered Argyle pattern. It's got the little cartridge on it, much like a Remington knife. It is a lock blade. The fit and finish on this thing is just as good as any case you'll spend your money on. I dare say this is as nice as a GEC. And everybody's gonna hate me for saying that, because this is a $14.99 knife. When I got it, I got it on sale. Whatever, I don't even know. Look, these are, if they're available still, they're probably not that, they're probably under $20. It's got a beautiful little lanyard hole, functioning lockback blade, stainless steel, beautiful mirror polish. There's a red ant crawling right there. Let's see if we can get him in the picture. Anyway. It's got the little Marbles branding on the side, and this is made in China. It is stainless. This is a very gorgeous little knife. And it's under 20 bucks. So thank you, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, for acquiring the Marble's name. And what started all this is I've really been looking at Randalls a lot. 2026 is the year of the Randall for me. It's gonna finally get me a Randall, or order me a Randall. And a few months ago, I was looking and Marbles had come out with something, and I put it in my cart and I was gonna buy it, and I looked, and the website I was gonna get it from, it wasn't Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I don't believe. Some other sites had them too. And it said 7 inches overall. I'm like, oh, that's a novelty thing. It's a toy. I don't want that. And so I just forgot about it. And then, good old Cowboy Seabot, KTV. I was scrolling through YouTube, and he had the knife and doing a review on it. And I was like, what? Yeah, it's a real knife. And so I had to get me one. And this is the Marble's MR722. And a lot of you guys are going to look at this, and you're like, oh my lord, that looks just like something I know. Yes, it's very similar to a Randall Model 1. Different. Same, different. It's very beautiful. I look at this, and I look at the foot-made Pakistani knife. I mean, this fit and finish is okay, but this thing is like almost what you would consider presentation quality. Very beautiful knife. And it is very similar to a Randall Model 1. And we're gonna get to the differences real quick. Unless you get it made custom, I don't even know if it's an option. The Randall Model 1 has more of a round, not slanted or swooped butt cap or pommel or skull crusher. It has a straighter handle, unless you order the commando grip. This is more of a commando style grip, which is cool. More, yeah, brother, commando. So the handle from the standard issue Model 1 is a lot different. The top here is not sharpened. And my only true little tiny pet peeve with this knife is this is so close to being perfect that if it was just about not even a 1/4 inch more, I mean, I could do that. And if I deburred the back of that edge there, I could do that. But if that was just close to a 1/4 inch more, ooh, it would be a little bit better. Because that would bite your finger if you grabbed it in haste. And we choke up to do things that are in books you can buy. The fit and finish on this thing, like I said, wow. And you know, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, they sell this thing for 71 bucks. It's like the standard issue price for these. And but you can get them for way cheaper on sale and stuff. I think it was like 50 bucks, something like that. I did a trade, but I found it on a website for like 50 bucks. Yeah, the Marble's MR722. And you know, this is one of those knives, it's like I was reading the comments on it. There's only a couple of videos about this thing on the internet, on tubes here. And boy, people either love it or hate it, man. A lot of people are like, man, it's copying a Randall. Some people are like, oh, I'd rather have my real Randall. Well, they've probably never even held a Randall. You worry about what you spend your fun and tickets on. And you know what, man? Shout out to the Chinese folk who made this thing and who make these things. You should be proud of your work. This is a very gorgeous thing. Like, some knives have the look and they don't have the feel. And this thing, I mean, even with my gimped up hand right now, nerve damage and everything else, this thing is still a nimbly boy. And part of that reason is, look at that. It has great balance, which should push your worry back if you're worried about this not being like a tough enough tang for like real use. That's got a lot of weight on it. That little piece of brass ain't that much weight. I make these types of things. I know. This thing's got a stout tang in there. Look at that balance. This is the real deal. That's D2 steel. That's a plank of D2 steel. Almost a 1/4 inch. A little bit less. I'd say like 5 millimeters maybe. I don't know. I didn't measure it. This is a little over 12 inches. It's got a 7¼ inch blade. Here, let's compare it to Brian. This is seriously like 50 times the knife of a Brian and of a K-bar. And seriously, this knife is so much better than this K-bar, and this is like over $100 knife, you guys. And look how bent it is. And you know, I beat the hell out of it, but I'm just saying, this is over $100, made in only New York by a machine. And this is made in the land of the Chine. And I mean, the standard price is 71 bucks, but I mean, look at that. You can get this for half the price of a K-bar. See that? Beautiful. You know, this is something like if you did order a Randall and you're gonna do that 7-year wait to get your Randall if you want it custom, you know, if you don't order it through a dealer. This would be something to play with while you waited all those eons of time. This thing here, it's beautiful. I love the fact that it does have the commando style grip. I'm surprised they didn't do a lanyard hole, but then again, whatever. The fit and finish, I'm telling you, I took this thing out of the box and was like, wait a second, dude, like, this is a Marble's knife. This is every bit the fit and finish of a buck knife, you know? It's good. It's got a good feel. It's got a great balance. And the sheath is really nice. I slathered it up in my Obanoff's Heavy Duty LP, which is a leather conditioner, if you don't know. It's my favorite. Very Randall-esque style sheath, but check this out, dude. Like, this knife gets so many points for this. Look at this. I know this may seem like a trivial thing, but man, having that on the proper side of the blade to where it won't get sliced, man, are you serious? Somebody did it right. Somebody did it right. On a $50 knife. Nice sheath. Nice sheath. Oh, little stone. And a decent, and you know what? It's not a lot of knives that come with the sharpening stone. It's a real coarse stone. This is actually a pretty nice little stone. So it comes with a decent whetstone for field sharpening purposes. All right, this is running on and on and on. The Marble's MR722 for Fixed Blade Friday. Hope everybody is having a great day out there. Yeah, rock and roll. This thing, if you have a craving for a Randall-esque or just a big badass hunter fighter style, this fits the bill. It's man, it's really pretty. It's much more of a knife than I expected. It's videos and pictures that I've seen have not done this thing justice. I mean, you could tell it's a nice knife, but you can't tell how nice it is until you're holding it and checking it out. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. This has been going on and I've been rambling. I gotta go play with the goats and my pup. Y'all watch your top knot.